What were Mary's inner thoughts about her day-to-day living? What were her joys and her struggles in the everyday routine? Did she hum while doing her chores? Did sweeping the floor make her sneeze? What was her favorite soup? She probably had one. When Jesus was 26 years old and making tables and chairs, did she wonder exactly when her son would be given the throne of his ancestor David as promised by the angel Gabriel? Did she live in anxiety about Simeon's words that a sword shall pierce her own soul too? Or was she able to embrace each wonderfully normal day and find joy in the common routine? Perhaps a bit of both. We won't ever know these things, but we do know that she said yes to becoming the Mother of God and that she lived that yes. We know that her yes was the gateway to our salvation, and she carried out her promise in a very normal and common environment. It's probably a good thing that we don't know too many personal details about Mary. She would not want us to spend too much time reflecting on peripheral details about her in case it would rob from the time we should spend focused on her son and developing a relationship with him. When we stop and think about it, what really shows us who someone is? We can know a lot of information about someone and still not know who they really are. But when we hear about or see or experience the actions and decisions carried out by someone, we do gain insight into their soul. And this is what happens when we read about Mary in Scripture. We encounter a soul who entrusted her life and vocation to God's plan for her and for the world. Mary didn't know how her decision was going to unfold, just like we usually don't know what's coming down the pipe in our lives. Mary's faithfulness to God's plan set the stage for something greater than anyone could have understood at the time. Today, we get to look back on this and say, oh yeah, it all makes sense. It was meant to be that way. Mary's life asks us if we trust God enough to faithfully live our everyday lives knowing it's part of something beyond our ability to comprehend or see. We all wrestle with that now and then. And when I reflect on Mary's life and her decision to say yes, I realize I need that yes upon which to model my choices and actions. And this is hard. The decision to follow her example is easy, but making sure that my actions, my words, my thoughts, and my choices line up with that example, that's not always easy. Mary had and still has a very significant role in God's blueprint of salvation, and that is to lead us to Jesus. This prompts me to ask, how am I receiving and building my portion of the blueprints for the master plan that God has entrusted to me? Will I commit to seek Jesus and the kingdom first and let everything else fall behind me? Will I let complaining, gossip, and self-pity fall behind me? Will I allow anxiety and doubt to fall behind me? Will I direct envy and pride to vaporize out of my heart? Will I let the desire for earthly goods and pleasures melt away? Will I acknowledge my reliance on Jesus for my salvation and discard notions of my self-sufficiency? I still need a lot of practice yet in order to stay on that path of solidarity with Mary. I'm grateful for the awareness and opportunity to model my journey on her example. I need to remember to ask Mary, as well as my Christian community, for prayers and guidance as I journey through my yes to God.